Hey, welcome to Medicine Bag Monday, where every Monday here on Cobra's Medicine Bag, we're going to drop in for some transformational tarot. And we're going to do a life path reading for the collective for what's coming in the week ahead and how we can best navigate that terrain so we can really bring ourselves into alignment with our paths, our purpose, and the direction that Spirit's calling us to move into at this time, what shoes we need to fill, so to speak, and the work involved in that, the inner work, the inner chores. I just had this vision of Cinderella come into my head. She wanted to go to the ball, she wanted to have that celebration, she just wanted to have herself a time. And I'm not talking about the Disney version of Cinderella, okay? I'm talking about the original fairy tale, which is really about Cinderella's her independence, her desire to like branch off on her own, do her own thing, and really celebrate life. And she found her strength and her connection in that story through her connection to Mother, and Mother as represented by Earth. When her father went off on a trip, he asked her and her stepsisters what kind of gift they would like to have brought back. And Cinderella asked for the first branch of the tree that his head hit when he was riding in his carriage, and that's what she wanted returned to her. And he actually did bonk his head on a tree limb from a hazel tree. And hazel is a very magical wood, okay? It has a lot of power, a lot of medicine in it. Very, very strong, like roots medicine, connects you to your roots and your magical lineage, okay? So Cinderella knew what she was doing. She had a bit of precognition. She was tapped into her intuition, and her father brought back this branch for her. And she planted this branch out in the yard, in the earth, on her mother's grave. Okay, so this is so symbolic of what fairy tales are all about. And I don't know why this is coming in. I wasn't planning on bringing this in right off the bat, but I do improvisation with these. Okay, I don't have any sort of plan. I fly by the seat of my pants, and this is what wants to come through. She found her strength and her connection through connecting with the earth, connecting with her mother's essence, okay? And so this is really a piece that's coming in. Maybe the collective needs to get outdoors. Maybe you need to spend some time in nature. Maybe you need to connect with this archetypal energy of mother and what that means to you. What does nurturing mean to you? Do you have the ability to receive nurturing? All right? So we're going to dive into this and we're going to follow this thread. But, let it be known, Cinderella was never looking for a prince. That's not part of the original fairy tale, okay? Cinderella wanted to go to the ball. She wanted her time of celebration. She was tired of living in this like space of lack where her needs weren't being met, where she wasn't having fun, where everything was just drudgery, so many chores to be done. But a lot of times we have those chores we need to do before we can receive the sweet reward. And what are those chores? They're chores of the internal variety, stuff we need to clean up within ourselves, beliefs we need to shift so we can actually align with the frequency of those things that we want to bring in, right? She actually tried to run away and hide from the prince when he came looking for her, not because she was ashamed that she would turn back into who she was. Cinderella was never disconnected from who she was. She knew what her worth was. She knew what she deserved in this life, okay? That's all shit that got spinned around, when the fairy tale moved on to the realm of Disney, okay? Fairy tales are medicine stories. They're wisdom that's passed down, around the campfire, generation after generation, It's like our ancestral lineage is contained within fairy tales. So if you really ever want to know the way to approach life, read a fairy tale. Read an old school fairy tale. Pick up some, Grimm's fairy tales, and you'll really see, the medicine that's contained within those stories. So If you would like to contribute your energy to holding this vision I have of letting this be a meeting point, letting Medicine Bag be a meeting point where we can build community and have real talks, and I can bring in supportive tools that help you really master your path while you're focused on your self-care, creating a strong foundation for yourself and your life moving forward. Please like, share, subscribe. It does support the channel immensely, and I would greatly appreciate it. And thank you for dropping in with me and choosing to spend your time with me today. So we're going to just dive into the flow of this reading and see what the cards want to contribute to the conversation. Great Spirit, what is the medicine coming in this week for the collective? What is the work that we have to do? How can we flow with the challenges and opportunities that come up this week in order to align with our purpose and move forward in the most empowering way? Pulling for the collective. What messages do you have, Spirit? Pulling for the collective. Ooh, there was a flyer. Let's see what that one has to say, and then we'll build off that. Okay, we have the 9 of Cups coming in reverse. And so this speaks to a couple of things. First of all, I feel like a lot of you have been pouring your energy out. You've been pouring your energy out and feeling a little bit depleted, okay? Because when the 9 of Cups is upright, it's all about this feeling of personal gratification and fulfillment. So I think that there's probably a lot of you that are sort of feeling like you're kind of just going through the motions, and maybe it's been too much of a struggle for a while. Maybe things have been too challenging, too frustrating. Maybe you've had some anxiety around, the ability to sustain yourself on a material level. I know it's been a couple really rough years, right? We're all moving through a very transformational time. So you may be feeling like there isn't a whole lot of pleasure in life. And what I would say to this is I believe the work this week is to really rediscover pleasure, rediscover what it is that makes you feel fulfilled, And we're talking on a deep level, okay? Because maybe money is tight. Maybe you are dealing with challenges in your life, but there's always a way to feel a sense of personal fulfillment, okay? And to see the opportunity in the situation. Maybe it isn't a time for seeing a lot of material reward. Maybe it's about diving deeper and looking more for that personal fulfillment that comes through connecting with your spirit. When was the last time you really dropped in with your soul and aligned on that level? So I would say really get in touch this week with where you feel there's this sense of lack. Where are you feeling a lack of fulfillment? Is it in your relationships? Is it in your social circle? Is it in the work that you're doing? Physically, are you feeling like you're a little depleted, you're run down? Maybe you need to spend more time like focusing on your actual physical self-care. Just sit with this. Where are you feeling like you're running on empty a bit, where there's this lack of fulfillment and gratification, and see if you can start to work to turn this energy upright. Now, another thing that is coming in around this is maybe you have a vision, but you're lacking the confidence, maybe there's part of you that thinks, oh, there's no way I could ever achieve this, so what's the point? And you're sort of like setting yourself out on this journey on a defeatist note, rather than really thinking about the possibility that you could succeed. Okay. This could also be you put a lot of work into something that was very special to you, that was close to your heart, that you thought had the potential for great reward. And when we're speaking of reward on this level, with the 9 of Cups, it's not just like a material reward, but also emotional reward, and maybe you're feeling like that's fallen a bit short, and you're sort of missing some of that enthusiasm that was carrying your energy forward. So what I would say with that cups energy, it's also about connecting with that creative spirit, that spirit of innovation and inspiration, and what really like moves you, what inspires you to move. So maybe you need to reconnect with your original vision and why it did spark you to, take the action, take the steps to bring it into being. Maybe that's gotten a little bit lost along the way. I also see this other piece that when it comes to the Nine of Cups and fulfillment, there is this piece of, are you being grateful for what you do currently have? And that's not like trying to put some rose-colored glasses spin on anything, because sometimes things are challenging, right? Sometimes things are difficult to move through, and it may be hard to be grateful when you're going through periods like that. But there's always something to be appreciative of. And the more that we connect with that appreciative energy, the more that we open up this flow of receptivity for those blessings to come in. It's like, let's say that you're doing something for someone and you're helping them out. You're, giving of your time, your energy in order to better their lives, or just to offer them support. Now, if you're not appreciated, okay, if you don't experience, that person's gratitude for you, investing your energy in their happiness in this way, or to make their life easier, how motivated, how compelled are you to continue to offer your time and your energy in that way? Well, it's the same thing with finding personal fulfillment on your path, or finding success when it comes to your goals, the things you're pouring energy into. You have to align with that frequency of gratitude and appreciation for what you already have, okay? Because then it changes your whole frequency that you're emitting by how you show up in life, okay? It encourages more of that to flow your way, as opposed to a stingy spirit blocks the path every time, Blessings don't flow to people who are stingy. They just don't, Those people are always operating at a lack mindset, like they have to hold on to everything with a death grip. There's no openness. If your fist is like this, if you're always holding on to things so tightly because of a sense of emotional or spiritual stinginess, then how can anything get into a fist? It can't. Maybe life wants to give you that fulfillment you seek, but you need to soften a bit, you need to be open to it. You need to believe that it can be a possibility. And you also need to appreciate the ways that you are currently being supported, the ways you are currently being blessed, the ways that life is conspiring on your behalf to put you in alignment with everything that you're looking to build, okay? So this is an important piece that's coming through very strongly. I want to look more into this. So it seems like this is the big work this week, It's the first card that comes in. Yeah, we see that, on the basis of the matter, looking at the bottom of the deck energy, we do have this 10 of Wands. So this is really a feeling of being overburdened, overwhelmed, because you feel like you're just carrying too much. And maybe that's been part of the thing that's been blocking your fulfillment and blocking the manifestation of what you're trying to create. Because if you're in this spirit where you feel like weighed down, overwhelmed, and you're feeling this pressure of this rabbit energy right here, where you feel like you have to push, rush to make things happen. And so because of that, you're taking on too much, and you're taking on too many other people's ideas about how to do things as well, things that aren't actually inspired from your own intuition and ways that you feel actually enthusiastic about bringing your vision into being. Instead, you're getting too formulaic, like, well, I have to do this, this, and that, and I have to spread myself really thin, and I have to take on this project and this project and this project. And, it gets to a point where the very initial feeling, that inspiration that came in that lit you up on a soul level, gets squeezed out of you by all of this like sort of oppressive should energy instead of moving spontaneously with the initial inspiration and approaching what you're bringing into being in your life, no matter what that is. You know, even if it's in a relationship, there is partnership, this creative aspect that can come in, and it's all about how do you approach things. Are you approaching things in a joyful, creative, inspired way? Or are you approaching things from this perspective of, oh, this is so much work? You know, we see that, you know, sometimes you can't rush things. And the other thing about rabbit medicine is rabbit medicine also calls to you your fears. So if you're constantly in this space where you feel overwhelmed, where you have anxiety, you know, where you feel overburdened, and then you're not seeing the results because you're working yourself in the ground, trying to get somewhere, trying to create that change in your life that you've been pouring your energy into, you can actually start to affirm that reality and call those fears to you, rather than if you connect with what inspires you, if you move with the creative energy, if you're approaching life from a place of gratitude and noticing where your blessings are, or where you do have support, or what can work out in your favor, you know, then you don't have any energy left, right? You don't have any energy left to grow what you really want to grow. And no wonder there's nothing's flourishing, because you aren't flourishing. You know, where you're at broadcasts a signal, and everything that resonates with that signal aligns with you. Okay, that's not to bring in some kind of like new agey mumbo jumbo, like, oh, you know, if you're going through something really difficult in your life, that's all your fault. I don't like that, you know, toxic spirituality. It's not about that. Okay, everybody goes through challenges in life. You're going to, there's no way that can be avoided. There's times that things are going to be painful. There's times that you're going to feel frustrated. There's times when you're going to feel like you're not getting a fair shake. Okay, this is life. There are the hills and there are the valleys, you know, and it all just depends on what side of that, you know, karmic wheel you're on when it comes to that. You know, it all depends on which way the wheel is turning, and we all get our turn. All right, so things are never going to be perfect, but this is about, you know, choosing how you show up within the challenges. You know, do you let it pull you into a downward spiral, and then you take that on as, okay, this is the way things are always going to be, and get stuck there? Or do you actually call forth, you know, your intuition? Do you call forth you know, your sense of connection to spirit? Do you do the things you need to do to make yourself feel supported, and then actually consider, well, what step or what action can I take right now to actually work with this energy, even if this energy is challenging, even if it is bringing up stuff for me to look at and work with. And yes, we see that really affirmed with this strength card here. Okay, strength is all about tapping into that spirit of resilience. It's also about overcoming the lessons of the past, and not by approaching things in an aggressive way. Okay, not by taking on too much. You see the figure in this strength card. This is Empress energy. Okay, Empress energy is all the four queens energies combined: Queen of Swords, Queen of Wands, Queen of Cups, Queen of Pentacles. Okay, she's mastered mind, body, and spirit, and she's learned how to wield her energy in life in a masterful way. And that's not by fighting the energy. Okay, do you see her taming this lion with aggression? She's not. She's very much in her center. She's very much in her strength. She's aligning with that energy. She doesn't want to bring, you know, that energy of fight fire with fire. She knows that that only causes everything to go up in smoke. Okay, she stays in her center. She stays in her strength. She stays in this spirit of abundance, that there is no lack. There's enough for all. And that's how she moves through life. And this is what helps her balance, you know, those times when it does feel like life's a struggle, or like you're trying to make that escape from the jaws of life, right? Because Things can get hairy sometimes. Sometimes we really go through difficulties. But this is also about overcoming the lessons of the past. The old mindset, the old patterns of behavior, the habits that keep us stuck in unhealthy places. This is about approaching it with compassion, approaching it with openness, receptivity, and inviting in the possibility that there can be transformation, and if we approach things in this way, then we do see arrival, big time with this King of Pentacles energy. And this message could also really speak strongly to the collective that has highly aspected earth sign placements in their chart. So that's Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, okay? And this is really saying, take that inspiration and pour your energy into it and overcome the ways that you hold yourself back in life from thinking that you can have success or you can have fulfillment by holding on to old tapes of the past. It's time to really start putting your energy into where you want to see it grow. So if you're feeling overburdened, if you're feeling overwhelmed, it was 21:21 on the clock when I said that, okay? 3-3, 33, big Empress energy there, okay? Align with that spirit of the Empress that is all about coming into your creative power. It's all about that level of personal fulfillment because you balance the energies within yourself, all right? It's all about integrating that medicine from the difficult experiences you've been in, the times when you've been challenged in the past, and understanding I've faced challenges before. I've been through difficult times before. I'm still here. Ticker's still working. I'm still in it to win it, okay? And remembering the ability of the human spirit to triumph over the adversity, to triumph over the lessons of the past, you need to reconnect with that, and you need to drop what isn't working for you. If there's projects you've taken on, if there's obligations you've agreed to, if there's things that you're doing in your life that are draining you, connections with people, whatever it may be, okay, it's time to really have a look at that stuff and ask yourself, why am I doing this? It's not bringing me fulfillment. It's taking the joy out of my life. It's bringing the joy out of the work I do. Wherever you're having, the challenge in your relationships, in your personal life, in your social circle, in your work, in your health, wherever you're facing that challenge, it's really time to drop what no longer serves and take tangible, practical steps to overcome the challenges by knowing you do have the ability to create transformation in your life. This is about really balancing those energies out with the temperance energy. And we see that once you start to do that, you move into this partnership with spirit where your cup, begins to get filled. And there's a reciprocal flow. The energy you give, it comes right back in because you're aligned with what actually gives your spirit sustenance. What gives you sustenance on a deeper level instead of just going through the motions. Sagittarius energy, archetypal energy coming in. This energy can be embodied by anyone, okay, when we're looking at major arcana cards. And we did have that strength energy that came in earlier, right? That's Leo energy there. And I think it's really interesting. I've noticed this recently on this particular deck. It's not the case in all decks, but in this particular deck, the Temperance card, it has, this dancer is holding these two cups, and the way the energy is flowing into these two cups, it really looks like the Leo astrology symbol to me. So this message could be coming in very strongly for Leo as well, and those who have strong Leo placements in their chart, just because we have kind of a double message here, okay? This is really about this, Seven of Cups energy. You may have a lot of options. But you see here, she's taking her time. She's got her eyes closed. She's turning within. She's really sinking into her body. She's getting in touch with her intuition. She's feeling out which options are the best for me. She's not so ready to, grab on to taking on more. She's really feeling this one out. And I feel like that's the energy that the collective really needs to embrace at this time. Think about what really fills your cup. All right? You're trying to get to that 9, right? You're trying to get to that wish fulfillment. What really fills your cup? Some of these things are draining you that you've taken on. Some of these things are toxic with this devil energy. Capricorn energy for the collective with that. Okay? So when you think Capricorn, again, major arcana, archetypal energy. Capricorn's ruled by Saturn. That gives you a clue how to overcome the bad habits, the practices you have in your life. Maybe you're lazy. Are you really investing the energy you think you are in transforming your life or bringing in what you want to bring into your life? Are you really building the dream, or are you just expecting a handout? Maybe there's some type of practice you have that's blocking your way to seeing the fruition of your goals. If you're working on your health, are you exercising? Are you moving your body? What is your relationship with food like? Are you eating foods that really nourish you, that support that goal? This is about, really having a look at what you're doing on a day-to-day level. The sentience, I'm getting this message in strong, Are you overindulging, with this 3 of Cups energy? Are you being overly indulgent? Are you just kind of like looking to have a good time, and you're not understanding that when you're shooting for a goal, there's also a very tangible piece about investing the work and making it a possibility, okay? Yes, sometimes we get lucky. We're in the right place, the right time. Transformation takes the wheel, and we see ourselves get blessed up with a miracle, all right? That happens for sure. But that's not always the reality, okay? And more often than not, transformation, when you see somebody go through a huge level up in their life, when they have a glow up, it may look like, wow, how did that happen? They're so lucky, this all just worked out in their favor. It just got handed to them. It's never like that, okay? Any kind of success takes a lot of work, a lot of investment and energy. And that work is not just intangible reality, the day-to-day things you do, what time you get up, how you start your day, how you, spend your time each day. Is it really in building the future that you want to create for yourself? Or are you sitting around feeling bummed out about the challenges you're facing, complaining, not feeling grateful for what you already have, and putting roadblocks in your way, more obstacles for you to move through, It's really time with this hanged man energy to get a different view. Look at how you're approaching life. How are you hanging yourself up? It's time to have some transformation, okay? Transformation and moving forward. And right here, this is the title card for the deck. And for me, this is really about writing a new story, all right? So I really encourage you, collective, spend some time this week. Spend some time this week. And wherever you're feeling frustrated and blocked and where you're wanting to see transformation in your life, have an honest look at where you might have some unhealthy habits, some unhealthy behaviors, some unhealthy beliefs, some negativity in your space that's actually acting as a roadblock. And then I want you to write it down, What are you going to do? What are some action steps, some practical things you can do to begin to turn that energy around, Because if you do this, I really see this feeling of emotional fulfillment coming back in with this King of Cups, upright. King of Wands, nothing's an accident, okay? I said that, so this might speak also very strongly to the masculines of the fire sign set. So we're looking at Aries, Leo, Sagittarius coming in there, okay? But with King of Cups, we are looking at water elements. So Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, okay? This brings back a feeling of emotional fulfillment. But it requires you to bring an end to some of those old habits that don't serve and that are blocking the success that wants to come in for you. It's time for the real transformation that only happens when you shed the old and step into the new. And you know, it takes a leap. It takes a leap of faith. It requires confronting your fears. 30:33 on the clock when I said that, okay? And this is Scorpio archetype energy. Some more of that water element coming in. Cut of the deck. It's time to begin a new journey with this Fool card showing up, okay? It's time for all brand new. And when we're dismantling the old, it can feel really unsettling. When we're closing the old chapters, it can be quite an upheaval. A lot of emotions can surface, but this is a clearing, and everything is about to come full circle and set you off on a brand new path that leads to all sorts of wild, magical gifts. So get clear this week.